It's me again. It's Jolanda, and I'm coming to you with a This Is Us Season 1, Episode 14. I think it's episode 14. You guys, it's in the morning, it's before work, and I'm really excited about doing this recap and just kind of go over the scenes with you guys and just discuss a little bit, and then we'll just dialogue a little bit more in the comment section below. So, this is my first full episode recap review, so bear with me. I'll probably tweak things a little bit as we go, but so for this episode I just took some notes and I'm just going to go scene by scene. I hope it won't take forever, but I really, I wanted to make sure that I didn't miss anything, and I still think I missed stuff, but let's just get into it. So we start off the episode with a flashback from Rebecca and Jack. They're meeting Miguel and his wife Shelly at some restaurant for dinner, and they get there and Miguel and Shelly tell them that they're getting a divorce. And that kind of like rocked their world a little bit. There was some flashbacks to them kind of at the beginning of their marriage and how, frisky they were, and in a shower scene where the soap dish kind of smashes off of the shower. And that's one of the things that I like off of the shower surround. The soap dish kind of comes off the wall. That's one of the things I like about this is really kind of realistic. Like, that's kind of what happened to regular people when they're trying to like get busy in the shower. Stuff, bloopers and crazy stuff like that happens. And so I like that element about the show. So it switches from the dinner with Miguel and Shelly to Randall having a dream. And so he dreams that he's coming in the door, and we don't know this at the time. He's coming through the door and he goes to William, who's sitting at the piano, and he touches William, and William kind of falls forward like and we assume he's dead. Well, he snaps up, and come to find out the youngest daughter has wet the bed. They go to check her bed sheets and, kind of get her all together to go back to bed. And they notice that the older daughter, and I don't remember either one of their names, isn't in her bed. They go downstairs and they find her and William playing chess. William's training her for a chess tournament, which is the next day. They had no idea about it. Apparently she wrote it on the whiteboard, which is like, okay, you wrote it on the whiteboard, but you didn't talk to your parents about it. I mean, you kind of need to do some communication. So we're starting to see some interesting dynamics. I mean, I'm kind of catching some things that I hadn't noticed before. The complexity of Randall and his family is coming out, and some other things are coming out as well. So pause there. So we, of course, in this show, you guys know you flip back between characters and present and past. We're in current right now, and then we go over to Kevin. Kevin's in some kind of like diner restaurant, and it's funny because when he walks up to the booth, he wants this older couple to vacate the booth because apparently this is like his booth. He is in Sophie's booth. And it's Flo from the Jeffersons. If you guys remember Flo from the Jeffersons, man, she was classic. It's kind of cool in a way to see her playing almost like an extra in this show, but she does a great job. She's talking to her husband, and he's old, but I don't think he says like one word during the exchange, but she does all the talking. She asks Kevin for his autograph on a napkin. He gives it to her, and they vacate the booth so he can have the booth. And as soon as he sits down, he says to the waiter, "I want lava fries, make it snappy." And he's like, scoots the other guy, is like, she's gonna come in hot, so I need you to get on out of here. So he sits down, and sure enough, here comes Sophie, and she comes through hot as fish grease. She's like, "What is going on with you? You're I can't even remember what she said, but she's like hot. Like, how dare you basically come into my life and just turn things topsy-turvy." So, but as soon as she's about to really explode on him, the server delivers the lava fries, and she goes, "Are those, so she sits down. So we cut away from that, and we go to let's see, where do we go next? So, we cut to Kate. Got to work on how I'm taking my notes. So we cut to Kate, and Kate's at the camp, and she has on these coolest leggings. If you watch my Subby Sunday last Sunday, if you watch any of my other videos, this is a lifestyle channel, so I do a lot. But on Subby Sunday, I received some leggings from Wannable, but Kate kind of had some like of those on. They kind of had where you can see the skin sheer piece. Total aside, but I thought that was pretty cool. I was like, well, Kate can wear them. Gosh, I mean, she's got style. I want to have style like Kate. But anyway, so what happens is she sees some texts from Toby. And Toby's like modeling and all these different tuxedos. And Toby, I just love Toby's character. He's so full of life and energy and positivity. I just love him. And she kind of smiles and he says, in the text, he's like, I don't want to be a groomzilla. But, I mean, he's in all these different texts and it's super cute. He tells her he has a package for her. She goes to the office for the package and he's there to hang out with her. So we cut from there to Randall and his wife. They're meeting with the doctor. They're talking about palliative care, about, kind of transitioning for William. And Randall decides, hey, I gotta go. I mean, I need to make this team meeting at work. So he gets up and Kate and his wife, Beth, reminds him, of the chess match that night. And so when he gets to the team meeting, he realizes that the guy Sanjay, you guys remember Sanjay from last episode, who's kind of like this other rock star, almost like his competition, is kind of, moved in and is starting to kind of step on Randall's toes. So Randall's a little bit concerned about Sanjay. He's got his eye on him. Apparently, we didn't really hear the backstory, but it sounds like Sanjay may have closed that other deal from last episode. And so the things are tense and Randall's really feeling the pressure at work. Well, I'm still trying to figure out, why does he is there more to the story of why he dislikes Sanjay so much? I'm not sure, but I have a feeling more is going to come out about that. But it just feels like it's more than a competition thing to me. It feels like he just really has some serious other issues for Sanjay, and we haven't really seen them yet. And as you guys know, when we do the flashbacks, with Rebecca and Jack, when they talk about Randall as a young kid, they always have nothing but wonderful things to say about him, like how kind he is and how funny and how smart he is. It's never that he's the type of person to bash anyone. And even when his wife, Beth, talks about him, she talks about him, like he walks on the moon. And the only thing that she can say that's bad about him is that, he sometimes pulls himself too thin. Like, I think she referred to a time when he stopped eating, he stopped sleeping. We're going to talk a little bit more about that later. So we flash from there. So at the team meeting, I got, I'm trying to give you guys some backstory and pull it all together. We go back to the team meeting and they have to court a client that night for dinner, trying to close another deal. And he can't do it because of the chess match. And Beth calls marriage on it. And I guess that's their key word, that when you call marriage, that's it. So Randall knows he cannot make that dinner. So we move from the team meeting back to Kevin. Sophie's eating those lava fries like they're the last thing that she's ever going to eat in her life. And then she takes off on Kevin. We find out that he cheated on her, and that was really what ended their marriage. Then we switch over. Toby is at the fat camp. And I refer to it as fat camp because that's what Kate called it. But he's there at the camp, and he's had this exchange with Kate, but I can't recall what was said. I think I was taking notes and I missed it. So help me remember what was said between Toby and Kate that caused him to leave. I think he had gone to the Sticks class, and but anyhow, he bumps into that horse guy, Duke. And the only reason why I know his name was Duke because he has his name badge on. He bumps into him in the parking lot, and I don't even know what the guy Duke said either. So help me with that down below as well. So then we come back from commercial and we do another flashback. And we're with Jack and Miguel, and Jack comes in, Miguel's talking to this lady, and he's like, hey, are you cheating with her? Is that the reason why you guys got divorced? Are you and Shelly are divorcing? And Jack is kind of like, well, no, we stopped trying to make each other happy. I brought her coffee, or I forgot to bring her coffee, or blah, 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 blah. Honestly, when he told the story, I just didn't feel like, wow, those are real serious grounds for divorce. I just didn't feel it. I've been married. I know, how tough marriage can be. But I felt like that was how he described it. Maybe there's more to it. It felt like didn't seem like it was that big of a deal. You stop making each other happy. Let's talk about it a little bit, and let's maybe work on it. Maybe they did. I'm not judging. These are all characters, so I can feel free to judge, right? So like I said, I felt like it was a weak reason. And so, yeah, I don't know. So then we flip back to current, and we're with Beth and Randall again, and they're discussing death. They're discussing, she's discussing with the older with both of the daughters, death, the memory box that she created with her dad, and then clearly Randall comes in, and he's just kind of like not even wanting to talk about death, memory box, nothing. He's just not doing well, and that's the point where Beth says, "Hey, you got to be there tonight. I don't care about your dinner with the client. I'm calling family," and he decides to stay. So apparently Toby met up with the guy, Duke, in the parking lot on his way in, but he stays, and he is in the sticks class with Kate. And of course, he's typical Toby. He's like drumline, he's like all kinds of crazy stuff. And Kate is kind of over his antics, and they have a little exchange later. We cut back. Sophie has left the restaurant. Kevin jumps on the train. Well, he jumps on the train after her at the end of that scene. When we come back, Kevin's on the train. This old lady's sleeping on his shoulder. He's just kind of like, up my shoulder. And then he goes over and he sits next to Sophie, who's, fled the restaurant. And he's having a conversation with her. She's kind of relaxed a little bit. She's cooled down. She's no longer hot as fish grease. She's just kind of cool. And she starts asking him about family. Kevin shares, that he had created a fake profile on Facebook to follow her. I did not know people actually did that. I'm scared now. I'm going to have to go look at all of my Facebook friends and make sure, because anyway, who does that? Well, anyway, he loves Sophie enough that he creates this Facebook profile to follow her and keep up with her life. But she shares her history. She shares how much she's been through. She shares, that she's been through a series of bad relationships, and she even married one of them. And now she's finally in a good place. She's met this guy. I can't remember what she said he did. I think he was like an X-ray technician or something like that. And that they're in a really good place, and she's finally happy. He's a solid guy, she says. But Kevin pours out his soul again. He says he still loves her. He's in love with her. He tells her he will be at the booth the next day. Basically Kevin is like, I don't care about the X-ray technician. I'm sorry. He'll be okay. Have you guys ever been, I feel like I've been several times in my life in a situation where something happens and it makes you question where you are, and you're at the crossroads. It's like, I can take this route or I can take this route. I can say, forget Kevin, move on with X-ray guy, or I can say, forget X-ray guy and move on with Kevin. What do I do? Why does life always bring us to crossroads like this? It's crazy. So he says he'll meet her at the booth. We cut away from that scene. We go back to Randall and Beth. They're at the chess match. Randall's texts Sanjay to find out how the dinner is going. Tess is the oldest daughter's name. She ends up winning the chess tournament. William's super proud, but you can tell Randall's still thinking a lot about how he missed the dinner with the important client, and Sanjay's pretty much walking away with, his job in a way. I started to get a little bit concerned. So then we cut back over to, past tense again with Jack and Rebecca. And Jack surprises Rebecca at the door and tells her he's taking her somewhere. Now, I forgot to mention that in a previous clip, a flashback clip, one of Rebecca's bandmates says, hey, we've got this tour. We want to go take you on this tour. Oh, your husband will understand. He needs to step up. And she kind of puts that band member in his place. And she's like, no, he does not need to step up. My husband is the best thing since sliced bread. He does A, B, C, D. He is awesome. Don't you ever. She doesn't go into it. She doesn't go into him all like that. But she basically says, you better back up. Don't you ever have my husband's name in your mouth. She really lets him know. But then when she gets home, Jack is there, and he is, Jack, he's so awesome. It just makes you wonder, what happened? When did he start drinking? When did all of this occur? We've already seen in previous episodes that something's going to happen, apparently. And then, of course, he dies. So every time I see him, when did it go wrong? When did things go south? Well, he surprises her at the door, like I'm just trying to get to, and he basically tells her, I have a surprise for you. Let's go away. She was going to come home, I guess, and maybe discuss this tour with him, but he says, I got a surprise for you. The kids aren't even there. He's got bags packed. He whisks her away, like, our dream guy, like that's what you want your husband to do. And he says he's taking her somewhere. So that's it. So then we cut to present time again, and Toby and Kate. Toby shares his fears with Kate. He tells her, he's not, the doctor says he's not healing like he thought he would. And then, he breaks out and he gives her his grandmother's ring. And I'm like, oh, wow. But what's so confusing is after he gives her the grandmother's ring, he leaves. So I missed something there too, you guys. Let me know what I missed down below. Then we cut to Randall in present day, and Sanjay has landed the client. Sanjay's in the big glass conference room getting ready to sign the account with the new client. And of course, Randall's kind of like, well, dang, I missed out on the opportunity to be involved in that. Well, his boss calls him into the office and he says he's splitting his accounts with Sanjay. He said, you've given us 10 years of solid work. You're awesome. It's nothing that, we're just going to split the work. He almost presents, he's like, don't make this anything other than what it is. But, I'm with Randall. I mean, it's something to be concerned about when your boss comes to you and kind of takes away some of your work. It's like, I landed those clients. So we're going to have to watch that, you guys. I'm like, oh, man, Randall. So then we do a flashback. Jack is taking Rebecca to their old apartment. Like, seriously, can he be any better? And they start to reminisce, okay? Then we cut over to present time. Kate and the stable guy, Duke. He's like the devil to me is what I wrote, because he is like temptation. He's like, accept who you are. It's easier than trying to change. Remember, I'm in cabin 13. Come on through. You just saw her boyfriend was there, her fiance. You looked him in the eye. I don't know what he said. What did he say to Toby in the parking lot, you guys? Leave that in the comments section below. He's like, smarmy. I just don't like him. And I'm wondering, like, why is Kate drawn to him? Kate, run! Okay, so then we flash back to Jack and Rebecca again, and they're reading their vows. And this is the episode's coming to a close. So they're reading their vows, and as they're reading their vows, past tense, we start to see some things kind of wrap up present tense. So remember that Kevin told Sophie to meet him in the booth if she was ready, basically to move forward. And she comes in while they're reading their vows, past tense, present tense. Sophie comes into the booth, comes into the diner, and he's sitting at the booth. So that's where this episode's ending with Kevin. Kate is headed toward cabin 13, y'all. Kate! But we don't see her go to the door. We don't see her go in. She's just looking at cabin 13, and she's looking at a text from Toby, and that's where she cuts off. Randall comes home, Beth's in bed sleeping. He goes to reach to pick up a glass of water, and his hand is shaking. So I don't know. We don't know what's going to happen there. Is it a health issue? Is it that he hasn't been eating or sleeping again? What's going on? And then at the very end of this, Rebecca says the band has booked a 5-state tour, and I think I want to go. So that's where the episode ends. We don't know what's going to happen. Is she going to go on the tour? You guys, this show is so good. I'm going to watch it again because it's my first time watching it and taking notes. I'm going to watch it again this evening and really absorb all of it, and I'll probably catch some of those conversations that I may have missed. But I wanted to make sure I got this up ASAP after you guys watch it, and I'll try to do this every week, try to get it up as soon as possible so that you, if you watch it, you can kind of comment while it's still fresh. And until next time, stay tuned, stay positive, and thank you for joining me today and watching my lifestyle channel. And I hope you enjoy my videos. Leave your comments below, like, subscribe. I plan on continuing these recap reviews until the end of the season. Talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.